Hello students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Art and Progressive School, going to start new chapter, that is breathing and exchange of gases. This chapter is nothing, it's just part of respiration. Okay, so in the previous classes we have done respiration in case of plants. So here in case of animals or in case of human beings, what happens during the respiration? There will be two things. What are they? There will be breathing and there will be exchange of gases. Okay, how? Because breathing and respiration, there are the two terms. Okay, so if I will talk about the respiration, so it is a part of breathing only. In respiration we are including the breathing. So what happens during the breathing? There will be inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of CO2, right? So what do you understand by the breathing? It means that only we are exchanging the gases, or we are inhaling and exhaling, and during that time there will be the exchange of those gases in the alveoli of our lungs, right? So we will understand in detailed form. Now comes to the point that if I will talk about the respiration, whether it is a plant or whether it is an animal or on human beings. So during the respiration, what exactly it is happening? When we are taking the oxygen, this oxygen is helpful for the breakdown of the glucose molecule. Okay, and ultimately we are getting energy in form of ATP. So we can say that what is happening? There will be oxidation of food with the help of oxygen taken by the human beings or an animal through the breathing purpose for the breakdown of food and giving the energy. Right here. So here we will understand that what exactly happening. So we have categorized this respiration into two parts. What are they? Aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Name itself indicates that what is aerobic? Whenever the respiration will take place in presence of oxygen, then it is what? It is aerobic respiration. Why we are calling respiration? Because we are using the oxygen and we are releasing the CO2. So in case of aerobic respiration, what happens? There will be release of CO2, right? Then comes to the another point, anaerobic respiration takes place when there will be an absence of oxygen, or sometimes we can say lack of oxygen. Okay, this is the very good example of this lack of oxygen in our muscles. During the exercise, what happens? The amount of oxygen will get reduced in our muscles. Due to what? There will be formation of lactic acid, and along with this it is releasing the CO2 also. So we can say that some amount of oxygen is required for the body, because we cannot say lack of oxygen. Lack of oxygen will take place where there is a any other organisms. Right? So but here if I will talk about the human beings, so what can be the anaerobic respiration? It can be the lactic acid of formation. Okay, and in this lactic formation they are causing the cramping in our muscles. So here those organisms which can be there in the aerobic, they are the aerobes. Okay, what we are calling them aerobes, and those organisms which are using this anaerobic respiration, these are known as anaerobes. Okay, so now we will start with the respiratory organs. As I am saying that we human beings have proper respiratory organ, that is known as the lungs. Lungs is an organ in our body. So what else are other respiratory organs in different animals? Because we have started animals from the lower kingdom to higher kingdom, right? In the lower kingdom, plant body is very simple. Okay, as you will reach up to the higher kingdom, what will happen? There will be complications of the organs also, because in starting we have done that there will be cell level of organization. If there would be cell level of organization, we don't need any complicated organs. The whole body surface is responsible for what? For the respiration. Okay, with the help of diffusion method, because all the time if there will be no tissue, no organ, so whatever cell is present in any of the life form, for example, again we have started that life originates from where? From water to the terrestrial. Initially those organisms present where? In the water, and slowly it started moving towards the land according to their adaptation. Okay, so what we can say that in the simple or the lower animals, we don't need any complicated structure or any organ. So here the respiratory organs somehow of different types. Okay, but now as we are moving towards the terrestrial land or towards the higher animals, what happened? There will be addition of these organ like cell to tissue, tissue to organ, organ to organ system. Then we are getting the organism. Okay, so here what is happening, that respiratory organs can be of different types in different animals. Same as I will discuss about the lower animals. What are the lower animals? The sponges. We have started lower animals from where in the animal kingdom? Porifera, Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora. Like this we have completed. Okay, so again if I will recall these animals like sponges are what? They comes into the poriferians and the cnidarians, then platyhelminthes. So up to here you know that after the platyhelminths or from the platyhelminthes there will be some different level of organization, but here below the platyhelminthes the level of organization is very basic. So here how there will be exchange of gases, because what is respiration? It is nothing, it is exchange of gases. Okay, so whatever the CO2 formed by the body, it should be go outside, and whatever the thing oxygen is present, it should be come inside the body, right? So in those animals, because there is no such organ, so how they will respire or how they will exchange their gases? The exact term what we will use here, exchange of gases. So how the exchange of oxygen will take place? The exchange of oxygen takes place with the help of simple diffusion. Now what is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of gases. Two things are there, diffusion and osmosis, right? When we are talking about the movement of gases, we will use the term diffusion, and when we are using the term like the fluid or we can say solvent, movement of solvent, then we are using the term osmosis, right? So whenever there will be movement of gases from its higher concentration to its lower concentration, how? For example, these many animals or the lower animals, they live in water. Okay, they live in, for example, this is a sponge, they always lives in water. What happens? How they will exchange their gases? Because whatever the oxygen is dissolved in the water, it will get inside, okay, with the help of simple diffusion method. It means that inside the body the concentration of oxygen is less, but the concentration of oxygen is more in outside the body. So what will happen? This higher oxygen concentration will try to move inside from its higher concentration to lower concentration, right? And due to this, what you will call it? Simple diffusion method. So in simple diffusion method takes place where? In the lower animals. Okay, now comes to the aquatic arthropods. Now somehow they are more advanced than the previous one. Okay, so here if I will talk about the arthropods or mollusks, what they are having? They are having gills. Okay, so these gills are responsible for what? They are responsible for the exchange of gases, just like this one. Here the whole body surface is taking part, but here they are having proper gills which contains the vascularized structure. These vascularized structure will provide the exchange of gases. Okay, now comes to the terrestrial form. As I have said, the life will move towards the terrestrial land. Now in this part we are having reptiles, birds and mammals. We human beings also comes under the mammals. So we are having proper lungs for the exchange of gases. So you have to memorize that what are the different organs or the respiratory organs present in different types of animals, because during the examination I can give you any of the respiratory organ and I will ask that this respiratory organ is present in which of the animals, right? So here if I will talk about the reptiles, birds, mammals, so they are having proper lungs, right? So that much is present. Now if I will talk about the frog, do you know the frog? How they are respiring? With that they can respire through the skin as well as lungs. Why? During the we can say during the dormant phases like hibernation. During the hibernation what happens? The frog remain dormant for some period of time, but their body is active. How? Because their body will keeps on exchanging the gases. How they are exchanging the gases? With the help of their skin, and that's why this respiration is also known as cutaneous respiration. Those respiration which takes place through the whole surface area of the skin. Right here, so we have the different respiratory organs present in different types of animals on the basis of their level of organization. Okay. Now comes to the respiratory system. As we know that about the life processes, we have started or we know about it, that is there is a digestive system. Okay, digestive system comprises what? It starts from the mouth, and there will be alimentary canal, and mouth to anus we can say what is there? There is an alimentary canal which comprises the whole system. Okay, so likewise there will be some system in case of respiration also, that from where it has started and how it is moving the gases, right? So to understand this respiratory system, we must know that what is the sequence of our body. So if I will draw the structure like this, for example, if it is any human being, okay, if it is any human being, what happens? We are taking air with the help of our nostrils. So these, if this is the nostril, what happens? This part is what? This part is the nose. Okay, so in this nose, what we are having? We are having nostril, and nostril having two chambers, right? So we will start the respiratory system from where? From the external layers which is visible to you. Okay, external layers are what? These are nothing. These are the nostrils which are present outside the body, okay, or the outer surface of the body. It is, that's why we are using the term external. Okay, so with the help of these external layers, what will happen? The gas will enter inside your nose, and there will be nasal chamber. Nasal chambers are what? These two chambers which is forming two parts in our nostril. It is known as nasal chamber. So it will move towards the nasal chambers. Then after that, where this nasal chamber will end, there will be starting of internal layers. Internal means which are present in the internal side. Why we are saying layers? Because it's just like a nostril where it will get over. Where it is completed, what is there? Internal layers. After that, there is a nasopharynx. Why we are using the term nasopharynx? Because we know that there is another pipe that is known as esophagus. It is coming from where? From our mouth. From the mouth, what is happening? Another structure is present. I will not draw here because we are only talking about the respiratory system. So here, if I will talk about the mouth, from the mouth what happens? There is a one common opening which is known as the pharynx. Okay, pharynx is a common opening for both. For what? For this respiration as well as for the alimentary canal. Right here, so we can say that above to the pharynx there is what? There is a nasopharynx. Naso means related to the nostril or related to the nose. So after this it will move towards the nasopharynx. Then comes to the larynx. After that, have you seen that this part which is present in your neck, that somehow swollen structure, which is known as what? It is the larynx. This one is known as larynx, and it is also known as the voice box and also known as the Adam's apple, right? So this swollen part which is present in our neck, it is known as what? It is larynx. Then larynx will move towards the trachea. Trachea is what? It is also known as the windpipe. Just like we are having esophagus as a food pipe, we are having this trachea as a windpipe. So this trachea is having different cartilaginous rings. Okay, if you will see the structure, this trachea having different cartilaginous rings, right? So here we can say that what is the function of these cartilaginous rings? That they are preventing the trachea from collapsing, because if there will be movement of gases, what will happen? It will get free. So these cartilaginous rings, they are providing the stiffness to the trachea or the windpipe. Right? Now comes to the primary and secondary bronchi. What do you understand by the primary and secondary bronchi? That these trachea will divide into two parts. Okay? These trachea will divide into two parts for what? For forming the lungs here. right? But before that, you can see that there will be some epiglottis structure here also. But now in this one, you can see that these lungs are present. Okay, so if these lungs will be there, what will happen? These trachea will lead to this cartilaginous ring into this primary bronchi and the secondary bronchi. So what we have done, this is the trachea and it will divide into primary and secondary. This one is primary bronchi and this primary bronchi will divide again into different secondary bronchi, and from this secondary bronchi it will form the tertiary bronchi, and like this there will be different networking of this bronchi to bronchioles. Bronchi is somehow simple part and bronchioles are the branching of these bronchioles, and at the end of these bronchioles we are having alveoli sac. Okay, what we will call it? Alveoli sac. So here you can see that after the trachea, primary and secondary bronchi, and at last there will be alveoli sac. Okay, what is the function of these alveoli sac? These are helpful for the exchange of gases which is coming from our body as well as from our environment. Okay, so one by one we will discuss that how it is happening. External layers, that it is useful for the inhalation of the air, and whatever the dust is present in the air, it will get filtered out here also. How? The first thing, it gets filtered out. Second thing, it humidifies the air. How? Because it contains the pseudo-stratified epithelium which will helpful for this function. So you must know that what type of epithelium is present. Pseudo-stratified ciliated epithelium is present in case of external layers. Then it comes to the nasal chambers through which there will be movement of gases. Then there will be internal layers where it will complete it. Then comes to the nasopharynx. Nasopharynx is what? Just the pharynx part, because it is a part of pharynx, that's we are using the word nasopharynx. Then comes to the larynx. Larynx having proper glottis and epiglottis. What is the function? That it is a flap-like structure. When we are swallowing the food, what will happen? This flap structure will get closed, so that whatever the food we are intaking, it should not go into our this larynx part or into the trachea. So to prevent the food entering into the trachea, there must be a glottis, and this glottis having proper epiglottis. Right here. Now it comes to the trachea. Trachea is a windpipe through which the air will move, and they are having the cartilaginous ring. Then it will divide into the primary bronchi. Primary bronchi will divide into the secondary, then tertiary, and ultimately it form a network of bronchioles, and at the end of each and every bronchiole there is the alveoli sac which is helpful for the exchange of gases. So what exactly is happening here? Breathing is what? Inhalation and exhalation, and exchange is what? Exchanging the gases, right? Now comes to the respiratory and exchange of gases. The thing which I have discussed right now, that alveoli, these are what? These are the things which are responsible for exchanging the gases, right? So now we will understand that how the structure is there. We will study the whole structure of lungs, how it is made up of, and what are the different layers which is present in the lung. So now here we will understand the whole anatomy of the lungs. Why? Because here we are talking about the respiration, and we have done that about the respiratory system. It will start from where? From the external layers, and it will reach up to the lungs here. So we know that what is happening in this lungs. There is a larynx which we have done, known as the voice box, and above to it there is epiglottis. It is a flap-like structure, and it will or we can say it is a respiratory organ which is present in case of mammals, right, and some of the terrestrial forms. So here you can see that these lungs having the triangular shape, right? So these are what? These are the triangular bags, and very important thing that where it is situated? These are situated in the thoracic cavity. So what do you understand by thoracic cavity? Thoracic cavity is made up of some of the part. For example, that this is my body. This part, the above part, okay, this back part is known as what? Dorsal part, and the above part, it is known as the ventral part. Or you can say that this is my above part and this is my below part. Okay, so this part will comprise the dorsal part and this front part will comprise the ventral part, right? Likewise, our body also having some lateral part. The sideway part is known as the lateral part, and the downward part is also known as the downward one, right? So on the basis of these different parts, we have made this thoracic cavity. Why? Because this thoracic cavity comprises of what? Dorsally, with the help of vertebra, we know that our vertebral column is present. Okay, so dorsally we are having what? Vertebra. And if I will talk about ventrally, I am having my sternum. Sternum is also known as the breastbone, right? So sternum is present, and if I will talk about laterally, it is known as the ribs, right? And downward, if I will talk about, it is a diaphragm. So here I will make you understand that what exactly is happening. If you will see the 3D structure, so dorsally you can see that vertebral column is present in our body. Like this, vertebral column is present, and ventrally we are having sternum, which is present here, and again you can see that lungs, that these are what? These are the ribs. Okay, I have drawn these ribs here. So laterally, what you are saying? Laterally you are having ribs, and this downward part, which I have drawn here, it is known as the diaphragm. So the whole region which comes under this one, it is known as the thoracic cavity or the thoracic region. So your lungs are situated where? In this proper cavity, okay, on the sides of the heart. And you can see that here heart is also situated between these two, right? And somehow it is tilted towards the left side, right? So we can say what is happening here, that lungs are the triangular shape. Where they are present, they are situated in the thoracic region of our body. Then each lungs, if you will see here, whether this one left or right, what we will call it, this one, this part left will become our right, because in anatomy we are using just different term, and this is a left part. Okay, so whatever I will talk about this part, it will be same in this another part, right? So what is happening, each lungs, they are enclosed by some of the membranes. So what you can see here, that each lungs, they are covered by some membranes. I have not drawn this membrane here also. If I will draw this part here, that what is happening, they are having the two membranes. What are they? Two membranes. These two membranes, they are known as pleura. What you will call it? Pleura. These pleura can be of two types. What are they? Parietal pleura and the visceral pleura. What does it mean? Parietal pleura, those layers which is present towards the outside. Okay, this is known as a parietal pleura. Those layers which is in contact of the inner part. Okay, those which is present in close to the inner part, it is known as what? It is known as the visceral pleuron. Okay, pleuron is what? Singular term, and pleura is the plural one. Why? Pleura means that two layers, inner as well as outer, and pleuron is what? Visceral pleura and the parietal pleura. Parietal means that those are present at the peripheral end. Okay, so here we have done that two types of membranes are present in case of lungs here. These cavity, what is this pleura? The pleural cavity means that the fluid which is present in this cavity, it is known as what? It is a pleural cavity, right? So what type of fluid it is present? It is known as the pleura. Okay, and what is the function of this pleural fluid here? It is helping, or it is reducing the friction in case of lungs here. So what you can say, that these membranes are very, very important, and these outer and inner membranes, they are reducing the friction because it contains the pleural fluid. Okay, so this is the thing which is present in the lungs. As I have discussed that these trachea will divide here, and it will form the bronchi and bronchioles. So it will divide into the primary bronchi, and these primary bronchi will lead to the formation of different network like structure known as bronchioles. And in the extreme part of bronchioles, we are having alveoli, sac, or these bag like structures are present. Okay, so we have done this thing about the lungs also. Now comes to the main purpose, that is the respiration process. So what is the respiration process which is happening in the body? It can be takes place with the help of 3 steps. What are they? First of all, breathing. Second one, exchange of gases. Then transport of gases. So we have done breathing, we have done exchange of gases, and the third one is the transport of gases, in which there will be a movement of gases into our blood also. Okay, so here we will start with some part of the breathing again, because during the breathing what happens, we just know that there will be inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of CO2. Okay, so here what is happening, there will be ventilation, means that there will be movement, and pulmonary word relates to what? Whenever we are using the organ lungs, we will use the term pulmonary. So pulmonary is related to what? Related to the lungs. So what is happening during the pulmonary ventilation? There will be intake of oxygen and exhalation of CO2. So we can say that in breathing there will be a exchange. Okay, but how this will take place? We are having 2 steps in the breathing, that is inspiration and expiration. Okay, so if I will talk about the breathing, what are the 2 different steps? Inspiration and expiration. Inspiration means in, expiration means out, exit, right? So here we will understand that what exactly it is happening during the breathing and what are the effects will take place in the lungs, right? So as we know that breathing is what? It is an extracellular. Extracellular, why? Because it is not taking place inside any cell, right? And if I will talk about the respiration in plants, we have done that. What type of respiration will take place in case of plants? There will be cellular respiration, but here there will be extracellular respiration. Okay, it is extracellular process. Then it is energy consuming. Energy consuming means it's energy to get in and to get out of the gases. Then it is a physical process. Okay, so this is about breathing. Now comes to the 2 points into what are the changes will take place during the inspiration and what are the changes will take place in the expiration in the organ, this lungs, right? So here inspiration is what? If I will talk about in very short, the intrapulmonary pressure will be less than atmospheric pressure. What does it mean? Intrapulmonary means that pressure which is present inside the lungs. Okay, what is there? The pressure which is present inside the lungs, it is known as intrapulmonary pressure, and the pressure which is present outside our body, it is our atmospheric pressure. And we know that always and always pressure will try to move from its high part to the lower part. Okay, high pressure to the lower pressure. Gases will move from where? From its high pressure to its lower pressure. We know that as we will take the air, what will happen? There will be increase in this pulmonary region. Okay, so the pulmonary volume will get increased during the inhalation, and during this inhalation what will happen? That if area will be more, then what will happen? The pressure will be less. This concept is very clear. Pressure is equals to force upon area. If we are increasing the area, what will happen? The pressure will get reduced here. So same thing what I want to say, that during the relaxed phase, what happens? There will be less pressure, but as we are inhaling the gases, what will happen? This region will get increased. Due to this increase, what will happen? The intrapulmonary pressure will get reduced. Okay, then the atmospheric pressure. So it means that at the outer part the pressure will be more. So this pressure will try to move towards our body. Okay, from its high pressure area to its low pressure area into our lung. So that's why this process will be there, inspiration. So what we have to understand, that during the inspiration, the intrapulmonary pressure will get reduced as compared to the atmospheric pressure. This is the one thing. Then comes to the another part, what changes will take place in case of diaphragm. Diaphragm is also there, and there will be some external intercostal muscles. What is the meaning of intercostal muscles? It means that these costas which I have drawn here, very spherical form. So these are what? Costa. Costa relates to muscles. So what type of costas they are present here? External, which is present at the outer part. right? So during the time of inspiration, these intercostal muscles which is present where between the ribs, as I have said that in this thoracic region the ribs are present laterally. So what is happening, that intercostal muscles which is present between the ribs, what they are doing, they will get contract. Why? Because as the air will get enter inside the lungs, these intercostal muscles, what they will do, they will contract, and due to this contraction, what they will do, they pull these ribs, because these ribs are present here. So what it will do, it will pull the rib and it is providing the upward side. So what changes you can see during the expiration, that these ribs will move upward and outward. Upward means above and outer means outer side. Okay, so during the inspiration, what exactly is happening, that ribs will move upward and the outward side, right? Due to this, what will happen, there will be the increase in volume of the thoracic chamber. What is thoracic chamber? The whole structure which I have said right now. Dorsally there is a vertebral column, vertebra is present. Ventrally there is a sternum, laterally ribs, and downwards there is a diaphragm. So the whole region, what will happen, the volume get increased. Okay, so what is happening, the volume of the thoracic chamber will get increased in the dorsoventral axis. Dorso means dorsally part and the ventrally part. So in both the part, what will happen, the volume will get increases during the inspiration. So this is the concept of inspiration. And if I will conclude this part, I can say that during this time the volume will get increased. Due to this increase in volume, pressure will get reduced. Due to this, the pressure which is present outside, it will get enter inside the body. Okay, that's how it is happening. Comes to the next part of the breathing, that is the expiration. To release it, what happens during the release of this CO2? It means that whatever the pressure which is present inside our lungs, which is known as the intrapulmonary pressure, right now what will happen, this pressure will get increases. Why? Because if the pressure will be more now, okay, if now whatever we have taken from the outside, the pressure will be more, what it will do, it will again try to move towards the less pressure which is present at the outside part. So what will happen, this pressure will get increased. Why? Because now during the expiration, this will comes to the relaxed position. Now the area will get reduced. If the area will get reduced, the pressure will be more. Okay, so if pressure will be more, what will happen, that it will send the extra pressure towards the outer side and there will be expiration. Okay, so what are the changes will take place in case of diaphragm here? In case of diaphragm, here you can say that what is happening, that there will be contraction, but in case of this expiration, there will be relaxation, and due to this relaxation, what will happen, there will be a convex like structure and the volume of this thoracic volume get here decreased. Okay, so during the expiration, now there is no such gases, no such pressure. Why? Because there will be volume of this thoracic region will get reduced, and due to this pressure will be more and it will try to move outside of the body. Okay, so here we have completed the first step of breathing, right? Then in the next part we will study that how after taking this O2 and CO2, because we have taken or we have inhaled the oxygen and exhaled the CO2. This is the first part, but what exactly it is happening in our body, how they are exchanging, we will use this task in the next class, that is the exchange of gases. And we know that exchange of gases will take place where, in the alveolar membrane. Then we will study the transport of gases. So that's all for today. Thank you.